Good evening. We're probably going to stop the Monday night.
No, you don't get to end this.
But last week we showed biblically the earth isn't young.
Shut the fuck up.
You have someone new for me, don't you?
No.
All right. Who is it?
I like big butts.
No. I refuse. No. Not him again.
Go fuck yourself.
Am I not going to get a choice in this?
Fulfill your destiny.
So long as I've got all of you with me. So, I didn't know Kyle Butt was a young Earth creationist. That being said, I've had assurances that since he was the butt of the butt jokes last time we featured him, that the audio clip demon promised not to repeat the same jokes again.
Maybe.
Well, you did do the one joke for the opener, so you're gonna have to stop there.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. Don't be an... Kiss my... Just stop. We need to finish making this video.
Well, you have fun with that, bro.
Thank you. Now, do your job and play the first clip.
No.
I'm going to tie you up, stuff you in a box, and only let you out for recording.
Kinky. Come on, keep talking dirty.
ACD, please.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
The Bible in the age of the earth. Does the Bible say anything about how old the earth is?
What just happened?
Do not be afraid.
I'm not. I just wasn't expecting to see a video clip. You're the audio clip demon, not the video clip demon.
Well, let me just say you're correct.
Is this how we're doing this one?
Yes.
Okay, well, fine then. To address what Kyle said, no, the Bible doesn't say how old the earth is, mainly because Genesis chapter 1 doesn't tell you at all either. The best you could do from a biblical standpoint is to tell how long humans have walked the earth, and that's just humanity as we know it. As we talked about last week, the days of Genesis can and should be read as periods of time, and the earth was here before the days even started when God spoke things into coming about. There is an overwhelming amount of evidence to say that even biblically this would be the case.
It certainly would have been nice if there was a verse in the Bible that said something to the effect of, when Jesus was born, the earth was exactly 4,134 years old. Well, obviously, there's not a statement like that in the Bible.
Well, of course it won't say that, because back then the authors had no clue what the age of the earth was. This all comes from a time in life when cities were surrounded by defensive walls to protect themselves from attackers, because that was the real threat. It was strange back in those days if someone wasn't trying to break in or get past the guards. Punishment at times was to be cast out of the city and barred from re-entry. So back then they were more concerned about not dying than they were about scientific discovery. An example of this would be Alexander the Great, who had to raise an army and march off from city to city just to establish his kingship before he could start trying to conquer new territories. Judea alone was once ruled by a guy named Simon the Just, and after, the same land was taken by Rome, all in the span of about 500 years. But they had to defend themselves on an almost regular basis. So at that point, people were more interested in making better defenses, while the few people that were promoting scientific discovery were more pressing matters. So research then something as arbitrary as the age of the earth at the time.
The Bible doesn't give us an answer in one specific place, but many times the Bible does give you an answer, and in order to find that, you need to take several different verses and put them together, almost like a puzzle.
Let me guess, you're going to just take parts of the Bible you want to make the Bible say and what you want it to say? Technically, I can do that too. I can use the Bible to tell and promote things that no Christian would agree to, but I can quote the Bible to do it. Like, not only does God send people to hell, but He loves doing it. I can get into that another time, but Let's just see if Kyle does what I think he's going to do.
So let's take a look at one piece of this puzzle at a time. In one sense, the Bible does tell us exactly how old the earth is. You see, in Mark chapter 10, verse 6, Jesus said this, "From the beginning of creation, God made them male and female."
I love it when people take the Bible out of context. If you read the entire thing in context, this is talking about marriage and divorce. So this is talking not about the beginning of creation, it's the beginning of marriage. Christians use this same verse to try and chastise gay marriage, saying that biblically it is supposed to be male and female. Being a gay male, I obviously reject this notion. Times change, and if Christians want to adhere to something like this, I could and will hold that accountable to everything else in the Bible that are commanded by God that they don't really like much. Times change, life changes, people change, and thus the rules and morality of life will also change. So in the day and age that we're in right now, marriage is the way to join your life completely with another, no matter the gender or sex. I am gender fluid. Genetically, my sex is male. No, I'm not going to prove it to you. If you do not understand what I mean by that, please ask, and I will clarify. I consider myself as gay. Sorry, I just went off on a little bit of a tangent, but in short, Kyle again is manipulating the Bible to say what he wants it to say.
We see in Exodus chapter 20, verse 11, the Bible says that for in 6 days the Lord made the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and he rested on the 7th day.
Interesting he picks this part. This is contradicted by a verse we brought up last week. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 1 says, "Therefore, since the promise of entering his rest still stands, let us be careful that none of you to be found have fallen short of it." Entering his rest. God is still resting, biblically. We are still in day 7 of Genesis chapter 1, according to the Bible. So what's with Exodus chapter 20 then? Simple. This is talking about the 7-day week implemented to represent the 7 days of creation. So you are supposed to rest on the Sabbath to join God in his rest. Yet another example of Kyle using the Bible to get it to say the things that he wants to promote. Dishonesty all around. So we get it. He thinks the earth is young. So moving past his big setup, let's get to the heart of the matter.
From us to the time of Jesus, how long has it been?
About 2,000 years. There's some debate on the actuality, but for this, we'll just say 2,000 and leave it there.
But then when we look at the other genealogies in the Bible, we need to go from Jesus to Abraham. So how many years is it from Jesus to Abraham?
Well, this is another interesting one. According to some biblical scholars, he lived about 1,800 years before Jesus. Others say it was further back than that, some say it was closer to now, but in reality, we really don't know when or if he even existed at all. There have been an immense amount of attempts to actually see if we can get a credible historical figure at all, and in the early years of the 21st century, archaeologists and historians have pretty much given up on trying to find anything to justify the claims made by the biblical writers. So we have no idea if Abraham was a real person at all. It's more plausible to think that these people are based on real people, but that the stories about them, just like the stories in other mythos, are all overly exaggerated stories. But I think I know where Kyle's going to lie with. I think I know where he's going to go with this. To save time, Kyle's going to say about 2,000 years before Christ, and then use the obscene lifespans of the biblical mythos to say that the earth is about 6,000 years old. How close am I?
Now we know from Genesis 1 through 5, that the earth was created on day 1.
Well, that's not biblical. All Genesis says is that it was the beginning. Day 1 starts after that with, "And God said." Just like all the other days. So biblically, The earth came before the 6 days according to Genesis. In fact, day 1, the Bible doesn't even say the earth was created, just light. There would have to be some sort of something there so that at the end of verse 5, there to even be day and night. So the earth being created on day 1 is not biblical and is the lie told by some creationists like Kyle. But for the sake of argument, we can see where he's going to be going with this. So far, he's failing in the biblical sense.
If we could determine the number of years between Adam and Abraham, that would place us within 5 days of the beginning of the earth.
Yep, the genealogy. So the Bible tries to claim that Adam lived for like 900 years, almost a millennium. Here's the issues with all of that. None of this can be confirmed, and all of it can be shown to be contradictory from the fossil records of humans and detecting their ages. Yes, we can tell how old people were from the fossilized human remains. So according to the Bible, before the flood, people lived for hundreds and hundreds of years and grew insanely old. If that is the case, we see human remains well all above the KPG barrier in the rock layers. What remains we have found shows dates of approximate ages to be far younger than we live even today. And this makes perfect sense when you really start to look into it. As research is done and findings are made, we increase the average human lifespan by more and more years. So it would be expected to see humans dying quite young in comparison to what we see today. And that's what we see when we uncover fossils. Not once have we uncovered anything or any records that humanity lived for as long as the Bible has claimed. And this includes some records from other civilizations that predate the flood of Noah, that no one lived for that long either. This is why I call all of this mythology. Taking the Bible seriously with the ages and the timelines is just so fanatical. But even Kyle agrees that there is nothing but the Bible to go on.
2,000 years from Abraham to Adam. You can't get that from secular history, but you can get that from looking at the genealogies that are found there in Genesis chapter 5.
But like I said earlier, you can see records that date back before then. We have evidence of the Mayan culture dating back and developing maize around 4000 BCE, which would be at the time that Kyle here thinks the universe was created. Furthermore, we can see Japanese history with people coming to Japan 40,000 years ago, or 36,000 years before creation itself. When Kent Hovind admitted there were languages and civilizations all over the world with written languages dating before, during, and past the global flood of Noah, he just didn't realize he made those points. Then again, Kent Hovind is about as sharp as a lead bowling ball and just as dense. From here, Kyle tries to claim that all the records are now gone because of Noah's flood, which we know are impossible, and we actually have records and evidence of global civilizations dating back to before the flood. The fact that all the water on the planet can't possibly cover the entire planet, and the fact that globally, there's no evidence of the flood whatsoever. It's just a part of the biblical mythology. After this point in his video, he just repeats his claim and thumps his Bible as proof. ACD has been abnormally quiet, like, all the way through this. Are you okay?
So, how can I help you?
Well, you're supposed to be the comic relief. What happened?
I have standards.
Are you getting tired of the young Earth thing now, too?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do the Friday video and make the young Earth thing every other week?
That would be more effective.
Well, we're only doing it because Kent was doing something that we could be educational on, and now it feels like we're just beating the fossilized Eohippus. We've given enough evidence that the Earth isn't young, debunked every claim we have come across, and shown that even biblically the Earth can't be young. There isn't really much left. So, this will mark the end of the regular Monday night show, and let us really focus on making a better Friday night show. I think this will be a good plan moving forward for the channel.
You and me both.
Perfect. Well, I am Corsi, and this is The Fluffy Atheist. If you like this, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Wait a minute, that's the old one. How was I going to be... Oh, yeah, perfect. Well, I am Corsi, and this is The Fluffy Atheist. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, and share me if you want to share a funny video or you want to point and laugh. I'm good either way.